गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय
असतो मा सद्गमय
सहनावतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतङ्गमय ॐ शान्तिः Good morning. Many wants to come here on time, but they are not able. It is difficult to keep pace with time. Time is swifter. Time moves with imperceptible speed, and to keep pace with time is not easy. Right, today I thought of covering this. I don't know. So please see page number 101. The second quote in the page. So I have not brought my spectacles, I am handicapped. Religion is the one and sole interest of the people of India. This is the one great truth India has to teach to the world, because it is nowhere else. This is spirituality, the science of the soul. Spirituality, the science of the soul. This we have to teach to the rest of the world. We have already discussed here that human being is the greatest species among all the creatures that God has created. Other species are comparatively very simple, but this is a very complex machine, both at an organic level and at a psychological level. And today, all the suffering that exists in the world is because we are not able to operate this well to our advantage. So because it's such a complicated and sophisticated machine, and we are not trained to handle it in a proper way, and we are handling it in a crude way, and that is producing discordant notes. It's a very fine and sophisticated musical instrument, but you are playing it in such a way that instead of, giving sweet music, it is actually giving discordant notes. So why this is happening? See, at a human level, we need culture and we need spirituality, because we are so complex and if you don't know how to handle your own thought and emotion, definitely you won't be able to make yourself happy. As you see in the world today, there are people who have so much of wealth, they have attained so many things in life, but still they are not happy from within. There are people whose external life is very simple, but inwardly they are very carefree and joyful and happy. Happiness is a state of mind, it has nothing to do with the things external. This is a fundamental lesson that we need to learn. And if you just look at our tradition, Indian culture, basically, for the last 10,000 years, if you look at our civilization, this is the nation that has produced a maximum number of sages, saints, and mystics, people who are divinely inspired. We call India as Tapo Bhumi, the land of tapas, the land of penance. Why should you do tapas? Tapas helps you to concentrate and focus your mind. If you attain to the highest point in tapas, you will attain 100% concentration, highest degree of concentration, which is called samadhi. That is actually mukti or kaivalya or nirvana. That is the highest state of bliss, the highest experience of life. That's why the external life they always kept deliberately very simple, our sages, but inwardly they were very profound. They would meditate, not for a day, not for a week, not for a month, for years together to attain the degree of concentration so that they would see what lies beyond the mind. And of course, today we have forgotten completely that India is a Tapobhumi, land of penance. If we just see the West today, highly prosperous nations, highly affluent nations, so much of prosperity is there, material wealth is there, but the people are not happy and joyful. Because there the law of life is indulgence. More you procure, more wealth you generate, more you indulge. More you indulge. What happens through such indulgence? Mind becomes more and more scattered. The more the mind becomes scattered and the less the actual happiness that you get. మనసు ఎంత విక్షేపం చెందితే మనకు అంత దుఃఖం వస్తుంది, ఎంత ఫోకస్ చేస్తే అంత ఆనందం వస్తుంది. So to concentrate the mind is the one goal. For that penance, tapas is required. That's why India actually is tapobhumi. So our people have understood the source of happiness for human beings. మనిషి చాలా ఆనందంగా ఉండాలంటే, ఆనందంగా జీవించాలంటే మనిషికి ఏం కావాలి, ఏ దిశగా వెళ్ళాలన్న దాని మీద they had 100% clarity. But those time-tested ideals we have given up because we have been trying to imitate the West for over the last 70 years. Our understanding of life is that just to develop like them. But anyway, even if you develop also, you will not be able to make yourself happy because their own societies are the proof for this. And somehow we have been hypnotized. We have been made to believe that India is an underdeveloped country. You know how they measure whether the country is a developed nation or underdeveloped nation? What is the yardstick that is used? The yardstick used is per capita income, right? If per capita income is high, that is a developed nation. If the per capita income is less or low, it's an underdeveloped nation. And also it is measured in terms of per capita energy consumption, per capita water consumption, per capita milk consumption, per capita meat consumption. I know they're all very, the more you consume, the advanced nation you are. You know, in America, let us say a person on an average consumes 1,000 liters of water per day. In India, maybe the person is using 100 liters per day. You are underdeveloped because you use only 100 liters. Well, I am developed nation because actually I use 1,000 liters. Now, this is how actually they measure. But by taking more from nature, actually, you will destroy nature invariably. It's based on consumerism. But that should not be the right yardstick. The yardstick should be how happy people are. The only measure, the only right yardstick to measure whether the country or the society is progressed or not is this. Whether the people there are joyful or not. If the people are joyful with the minimum things, that is a developed society. Maybe people have got so much of opulence and prosperity, external prosperity, but they are not happy. Then what is the use of that kind of prosperity? And if you just see the society, some of the affluent societies of the West, the kind of alcoholism, the kind of drug abuse, the kind of anti-psychedelic drugs they use, humongous. You'll be surprised in which direction we are going. Today, we are also trying to imitate them. And naturally, people are looking for a drop of happiness. They don't even know where lies the happiness. Yesterday, one of our spoken English students came. He completed engineering and now he's studying basic English here. And he told me, Swamiji, when I was in first year engineering, only one person in my class used to drink. Now, in fourth year, by the time I reached fourth year, only I was left out. All others became alcoholics. So today it has become, I know, a kind of passion. And he said that now and then the thoughts of, because he had some personal issues, the thoughts of suicide crossed my mind. And then I discussed this with my friends. The friends told, that's why we ask you to drink alcohol, because you will come out of that those thoughts, those negative thoughts. Of course, I understand the pain and the suffering. It's not easy to handle the mind in this world. The world has become complex for various reasons. And for that reason, Vivekananda's father, he was very generous. He would give money to all the people. Even for drunkards also, he was giving money to help them drink little. And Vivekananda, as a boy, he would object to that. Father, you are giving money, you are wasting your money. You are giving money to alcoholics. They will go and drink alcohol. They will spoil themselves. Vivekananda's father told, my boy, you don't know how much suffering is there in the world. You don't know how much suffering is there in the world. They're drinking because they're not able to handle their own thought. I pity them, my father said, and Vivekananda kept quiet at that point of time. But when he grew up, he understood that the world is really a great source of pain. Untold suffering is there. And that's why he wanted to alleviate the suffering of the people by giving knowledge, by not asking people to take to alcohol or drug. And so my request to all of you friends, try to read Vivekananda and his teachings. Actually, they will, for inspiration, for motivation, for personality development, to build your character, and of course, to learn language, English. Leo Tolstoy, Russian novelist, after reading Vivekananda, he said, he did not make a comment on his philosophical ideas or concepts, but he made a comment on his English. He said, what English Vivekananda had. American newspapers described him as an orator by divine right. Saraswati Kataksham పొందినటువంటి వ్యక్తి భాష ఎలా ఉంటుంది అన్నటువంటిది మీరు చూడాలంటే you have to read Swamiji's literature, particularly the two books I suggest. One is Letters of Swami Vivekananda. Swamiji has written hundreds of letters, very beautiful letters. They will help you to build your language skill and also help you to build your personality. Okay, thank you this much for today.